Okay, first off on the docket for opinions, we have the Boy Scouts. January 30th, they announced they are accepting transgender boys. This has been controversial. A lot of super Christian families are taking their kids out of Boy Scouts, going into different types of clubs, trying to segregate their kids from the new transgender kids. And obviously, it's exactly the type of thing that people tweet one thing about and then ignore entirely.
Yeah.
What's your first impression?
Well, if you weren't in the Boy Scouts, first of all, it probably won't really affect you.
Right. I never was.
Me neither. So it's not really something I'm close to. But when I saw the article, the first thing I thought was, oh, good. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty simple. I just thought it was a good thing. I think that'll be good for transgender kids. Now, I think this might get into a little bit of a discussion, but I think that if a child feels differently than other kids, they should be allowed to express that. Now, there's certain parents who will kind of push that on kids.
Right.
I think that's touchy. That shouldn't be allowed. You can't force your kid into something. But say your son wants to play with Barbies and wear pink.
Right.
You shouldn't necessarily tell him not to.
Right. You don't need to punish them for just having a different outlet of creativity. Okay.
Yeah. Now, teaching kids about transgender things at such an early age, who knows? I'm not a psychologist. I don't know how that affects children.
Right.
You know, because like when I was a kid and my friends were doing things, maybe I would mask my personality to do those things. So if they learned about it and they knew it existed, not that you shouldn't keep things from kids, but their mind is they're still... You know.
Dude, every kid is different. My extended family, I'm pretty sure thought I was gay until I was like 14.
Oh, my dad thought I was gay until I was 12. Yeah.
It's just, you never, I mean, look at us now, though. No one would even
just crushing it.
But, no, my first impression, nothing wrong. Okay, absolutely nothing wrong. If I had a kid who was going into Boy Scouts, wouldn't freak me out.
No, I wouldn't even give it a second thought.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. But, like you said, dude, there's definitely some issues when it comes to transgenderism in young kids.
I think that's what this is kind of like bringing forth, yeah.
Like, I was doing a little precursory reading, and just what I saw is so many kids will show those signs that also lead to transgenderism in the future, but just as often, it's just nothing at all.
Right.
So, my question is, 8 years old, 9 years old, because it happened, I think... This was sparked because like an 8-year-old like last year was kicked out of his troop.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
From New Jersey, actually.
Oh, wow. 8 years old, aren't the odds just as equal that that boy will eventually be like, oh, wait, that's not actually me. But now she was in the Boy Scouts for like 3 years. It's just like,
right.
I don't really care.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it an issue? Yeah.
But I still think there's lots of stuff that needs to be addressed when it actually comes to transgenderism. I mean, little kids. It should just be the Scouts at this point. Like, I wouldn't even care if they actually just let girls into the Scouts, called them the Scouts, and just had little kids deliver cookies, boys and girls, and then the older kids
can branch off and do whatever they want.
And then you're still probably going to run into that, like, transgender problem. Well, do the girl, like, there's a transgender boy, does he have to go with the girls' side of the Scouts?
Right.
Then just have him hop over.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not a big deal. But there is a debate to be had, though.
Yeah, so we agree that's a good thing.
I agree it's not a bad thing.
Interesting. All right, so it's not. You don't think it's going to cause problems, really?
No.
Except with people.
And I don't think it should cause problems. But I don't necessarily think it's like immense progress, just because it does absolutely nothing to address the debate about transgenderism in little kids, which is already a huge problem. Because if anything, now parents are going to be like, I don't know, he's or she's acting a little like masculine, transgender possibly.
Yeah, I see that. Who knows what they might project on their kids?
The birth certificate thing, I see how a bunch of people, like a bunch of, people who agree with, like, the transgender side of things would be like, birth certificate is too arcane, you don't know what their identity is.
Right. Well, because now, as we, progress, we're going into more of, like, a identity, like, for yourself thing instead of what you were born as, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother kind of can of worms that people talk about. I mean, on its surface, it's just something that happened. It's good, it's bad, but it does open up that transgender and children kind of issue, I guess, to talk about.
Dude, I agree, and I'm sorry. This computer fan is just driving me absolutely crazy. To those listening, I'm sorry about this. But yeah, let's continue. It's a huge debate. It's not a problem that this is a policy, but I wish there was just way more research done already to prove that this is actually the case.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't see anything wrong with, like, we're taught for forever that who you are is who you are, and the sooner you accept that, like, the better. And the actual, like, mental health issues that come with being transgender as a kid and an adult are so extreme that I'd rather parents not try to push that.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
like
agree.
you
I
said.
think they should not push it at all. They should just allow their children to be who they are. You know what I mean? And if they make their own decision, then support that. But to push their, like, ideas of what it means to be transgender on them would be, I don't know what it means. You know, I'm not. So.
Even if that transgender boy, I don't know if we're, like, taking this too far, but even if that transgender boy is certain right now he's a boy, how can you trust that? Like, how do you even know? Like, I'm just saying, you enacted this policy. You have to just expect at this point that half of these new boys coming in aren't going to be boys for very long, because that's what the experts say. That they go through this where, like, parents aren't sure. They'd be like, "Are you transgender?" And the kids would be like, "Maybe, probably."
Right.
You want to go with the Boy Scouts? And then they probably actually would want to go in the Boy Scouts, but that's just a separate desire from their actual...
For a girl to want to join the Boy Scouts.
And then, now they're in there, and it may create a mess.
I mean, is it that big
It's
of a
not
deal,
a
though?
big... No.
Say
not
that
a
happens.
big deal.
Say the boy...
Right. No, I'm just saying it's just something that should be expected.
Okay.
Like, it should...
Yeah.
Like, it's just
like it might happen, and then what you have is a girl getting her Eagle Scouts in the Boy Scouts.
Right.
Because maybe by the time she's 18, she'll have decided that she is a woman. But I don't know what those feelings are like. Maybe those feelings are so powerful that... I haven't looked up the statistics of children who feel that way and end up not feeling that way when they get older. You know what I mean?
All I know is the signs that lead to the person remaining transgender as an adult are the same signs that you can see in a bunch of kids that don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible. There is no one clear marker, and there is no way to prove. Now, this thing is fine.
Right. What happens is fine, yeah.
Yeah, this policy is fine, but when it transitions over into, like, hormonal therapy and, like, puberty blockers and whatnot,
right,
then I don't think literally any of that should be allowed.
Okay. Well, I mean, would you relate it at all to being gay?
No.
You wouldn't, because
no.
At least for me, I agree that being gay is not a choice.
Right.
It's something that
yeah.
So do you think being transgender is a choice or isn't?
No, I don't think it's a choice.
You don't think it is?
But I don't think...
But you think it's more like...
I don't think little kids have enough grasp of personal identity to make a decision that could eventually affect, one, a bunch of side effects, or even determine if they can have kids in the future. That's
a good point.
That's like what hormonal therapy does.
Right.
Like, you'll have a very good shot of not being able to have kids if you take hormonal therapy as puberty is coming or beforehand.
That's a good point.
I don't know, dude. It's just scary. Needs more research, and just taking a kid's word on it, no matter what it is a scary prospect.
Yeah.